Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is John Horan. I'm the chairman of the Seminole County Board of County Commissioners, and this is a 2 o'clock September 9 briefing on Hurricane Irma. Seminole County continues to prepare for Hurricane Irma. Our team anticipates sustained tropical force winds to commence midday tomorrow. That's Sunday, midday Sunday. Although the storm has shifted slightly west, we strongly encourage our residents to remain vigilant, as this is a very large and very impactful storm and will be impactful to our county even on its current path. And there's always the possibility, of course, with these unpredictable storms that it will shift again. At noon today, emergency management here at Seminole County issued a mandatory evacuation order for mobile, modular, and manufactured homes. So if you're in a mobile, modular, or manufactured home here in Seminole County, you are under a mandatory evacuation order. Please make arrangements to go to a shelter. For those residents that are required to evacuate, Mr. Alan Harris, our emergency manager, is going to provide an update regarding those shelter operations during this press conference, and Mr. Harris will be speaking next. So please, if you are in a modular, mobile, or manufactured home, please heed these instructions. Additionally, a voluntary evacuation order was issued for low-lying areas here in Seminole County. If you're wondering if you are in a low-lying area, you can find, if you are in such an area, on our prepareseminole.org website. That's prepareseminole.org website. You can enter your address into the search box, and it will tell you if you are in a low-lying area or not. If you can't or don't have a computer and can't do that, you can also go ahead and call our hotline, and I'll give you that number a little bit later, and ask our people who are manning those lines, and they'll provide you with the information as to whether you're under a voluntary evacuation order or not. An update on that will be provided regarding water levels and also potential flooding as we move forward, and that report will be followed after I speak. Our citizen information line is ready to take your storm-related calls, and that citizen information line is 407-665-0000. And we will be operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the duration of the storm. So basically from now until the storm is through, 24 hours a day, that number will be available for your storm-related calls. Again, that's 407-665-0000. All of our residents are also encouraged, as I indicated earlier, to visit our website called prepareseminole.org for storm-related information such as shelter locations, sandbag operations, special needs registration, and other storm updates, needs, and also, as I indicated earlier, whether you're in a low-lying area or not. And with that, I will introduce now our emergency manager, Mr. Alan Harris. Alan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the Emergency Operations Center, we are at a level 1 full activation. That means that all of our agencies, all of our departments, all of our support agencies, as demonstrated here, and up in the EOC, are ready to respond to this very dangerous hurricane. I want to caution people not to look at that little black line. A lot of people look at that particular line that's put out by the National Hurricane Center and think that the hurricane's going to follow that track. It can go to the left or right. And if you think about our history in Seminole County, it has gone to the right a few times. In 2004, it took that right curve of the cone, and that became a devastating event for us, and that was Hurricane Charlie, of course. Last year, it took the same curve, and it was beneficial to us, and that was, of course, Hurricane Matthew. So we are going to still focus on preparing for the worst, which would be a Category 3 to 4 hurricane, and we are preparing for that. We've opened shelters because of that. We hope that we will not be hit by a Category 3 or 4, but that's what we're planning for, and that's what we're preparing for. As the chairman said, even after the hurricane has passed, there is another threat, and that threat is flooding. During the event, we may have some localized flooding, but after the event, there is the potential for flooding along Lake Kearney, Lake Jessup, and Lake Monroe. along the St. Johns River. We would ask those folks that live in those areas to make protective measures as we move into the week next week, as flooding has now been forecasted by the Southeast River Forecast Center and the National Weather Service for moderate flooding in those areas. And we will be taking steps through our fire department and law enforcement to make sure that those people are safe. We have started to open up shelters, and shelters occupants are right now is a little over 300 occupants since the order a couple hours ago. So we continue to get folks into the shelters. Those shelters include 3 special needs shelters. That is Bentley, Highlands, and Lair Elementary, Bentley being a pet-friendly shelter. We also have general population shelters that are opened, Childs Middle School, Lake Mary High School, Lyman, and Midway Elementary. Those shelters are staffed by school board personnel, the county staff, sheriff's office, law enforcement, and there's an ambulance positioned at each one of those shelters for additional medical support. Those special needs shelters are also staffed by Florida Department of Health and medical staff, and we want to thank them for their hard work over the next couple nights. If you are going to a shelter, you should prepare to be at that shelter for a couple nights. Prepare like you're going camping. We provide space on the ground and meals and a safe haven. Bring air mattresses, bring pillows, toiletry items, and things like that, things that would make you feel comfortable inside the shelter. For all of the information, as the chairman also mentioned, please go to our website. We keep that updated continuously at prepareseminole.org. I'll turn it over to the sheriff.
Thank you, Alan. And we're getting kind of into the final stretch here. So if you're watching on a Facebook Live or you're watching on a streaming video, we encourage you to do all you can to share this information. As you've probably heard from previous press conferences we've had, we've done all that we can do to prepare. Emergency management, public safety, first responders. We've done everything that we possibly can do to prepare. The last thing that needs to be checked off the list is ensure that we are advising you what you need to do to prepare yourself. So as you're watching this video, either being live streamed or whatever venue you're looking at it, please share it with others, because getting information out to people is of critical importance. Next is, let's not get complacent. As Alan had mentioned, this is a very unpredictable storm. Conversations in the Emergency Operations Center. Every time there's a new update, a new forecast, we kind of roundtable, we discuss what is in the best interest of public safety. All of those fundamental rules have not changed. If you can get out and you can evacuate, you should do so. Don't wait until the last moment in order to do that. Make those decisions early so you're not vulnerable and getting caught on the road, going from one spot to another. That's the last spot that you want to be. The roadways in Seminole County are still flowing smoothly. They're rather wide open. 417 and Interstate 4 does not experience any significant delays, but we understand that that is really unique here to Seminole County. There's significant delays in other areas, and if you're commuting out of Seminole County to those areas, be patient and work the best you can. We heard this morning that there was a mandatory evacuation starting at noon today for those manufactured homes, modular homes, mobile homes. And as a result of that, we've increased enforcement activity within those areas. We understand that as citizens leave their homes, either through a voluntary or mandatory evacuation, the last thing we want to do is to make those neighborhoods become vulnerable. So we've increased our law enforcement presence. We are at full staffing. And we will start our anti-crime units, because I'll talk about a curfew, potential curfew here in a moment, but many businesses have taken upon themselves to close their operations. And we encourage people to do that if they feel that that's in their best interest, and many of them have done that because they want to afford their employees an opportunity to prepare themselves and their homes and their families. But when that happens, obviously we don't want any criminals to take that as an opportunity to commit crime. So we have anti-crime units, which is essentially investigators that are in unmarked patrol vehicles in plain clothes that are adding additional enforcement support to our already full staffing component. As I travel in and around the area, a lot of people have questions about curfew, and I will say this. We've had conversations with contiguous counties, all cities within Seminole County, and based upon the storm's predicted path now, we do not anticipate any curfews today. And the earliest time we may impose a curfew based on the current path would be probably early evening hours tomorrow. Again, we encourage people to make whatever precautions necessary now. We encourage businesses to not wait until the last moment before they close, but we will look at the 5 o'clock report of the storm and probably make a determination on what is appropriate regarding curfew later today, so we can tell people tomorrow. But I know that there's many business owners and operators and other folks that are wondering whether or not there will be a curfew today. It does not appear that that will occur today. That's something that probably will be later in the afternoon or early evening tomorrow. So thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Amy Lockhart. I'm chairman of the Seminole County School Board. Want to reiterate that Seminole County Schools has decided to stay closed through and including Tuesday, September 12th. Future days beyond September 12th will be determined on a daily basis. So we want you to stay tuned to local media. We're not sure if the communication sources that we normally use to communicate with our families will be available to us, social media, our Sinra Voice call-out system, blast emails. We just don't know, given the course of the storm, how long those may be available. So please stay tuned to local media for any additional information about school closings. Staying closed on the 12th means that our families and our staff will have an opportunity to stay at their homes an additional day. Obviously, as the storm starts to take a little more time to come through, we'll be making determinations about how much longer that time will need to take. But we want our families and our staff to be able to be at their homes and assess damages. It also helps our staff at Seminole County Public Schools to determine the damages that we have at our facilities and the time and resources that it may take to get us back open and back online. Our primary focus right now is still the safety and security of our families and our staff. So that's going to be super important in determining what our reopening day may be. On behalf of the whole board, I want to say thank you to our community, to our families for your patience. This is something that's kind of a moving target, and we're making decisions as they come to us. And of course, all of those decisions are being made in conjunction with emergency management and the sheriff's office. And we are so grateful for our partnerships. We do not make decisions in vacuums. In Seminole County Public Schools, we are working together as a team in this community, and that's what we believe you expect of us. The other thing that I want you to do, if possible, is please get on Skyward while you have an opportunity, if you are a Seminole County Public School parent, and update your contact information. When we are able to communicate again, that's imperative that we be able to do that. So please, again, get on Skyward and update your parent information for your student. It's also important that you, there have been questions about makeup days. I know parents want to know what's going to happen when it's over. We're going to make those decisions when it's over. We know surrounding counties have already made decisions about makeup days, and what the superintendent is prepared to do is to excuse as many makeup days as are allowable by law, and any decisions that the governor may make once the storm has passed. The superintendent, speaking of Dr. Griffin, is out visiting our shelters right now, going to schools. He is absolutely overwhelmed by the number of staff and volunteers that are doing such a tremendous job serving our community. The amount of effort and coordination has really blown him away, and he's reported back to me that things seem to be going very smoothly, and he's very proud of our staff as well. So thank you to our law enforcement partners, to our public safety partners. We're in this together, and it's all going to be okay. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
Well, there may be questions that are coming in through the live feeds. Are there any questions that?
Okay. How about through the live feed there? Okay. All right. Hearing none, thank you very much. It's a partnership operation here in Seminole County, and we're ready for IRMA.